Shalom, Mashpaka. I'm back on here today. I'm on. I'm finna play something and see if it play today, and if it don't, then I just start talking. I got a good broadcast for you today. It's about brother Olaudah Equiano. Alright. So here we go.
The Book of Exodus, Chapter 20, the King James Version with headings. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed, and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off. And Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon.
Amen. And that was the word of Allahayim that you heard today. So today we're going to go to Olaudah Equiano. All right. This right here was one of our ancestors. He's from the transatlantic slave trade. He's from the transatlantic slave trade, and I want y'all to, when you get the chance, please subscribe to the I don't know if it's a stranger or if it's one of our brothers and sisters according to the flesh, but go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to their channel, Mashpaka. All right, so I'm gonna read a little bit out of this book, and I just wanted to put the Bible up there, and I'm gonna read out of this book. All right, Mashpaka, put the Bible up there because Olaudah Equiano, he believed in something. All right, he believed in something. So I have the Paleo Hebrew alphabet here as well. And there's something in there that I want to share with you before I start reading out of Elder Olaudah Equiano's book. So here we go. So here what you see is the Phoenician Hebrew alphabet. Okay, this is the dictionary. You can purchase it on Amazon, or you could go to Wikipedia and get a copy. But if you support them, then they'll have the money that they need to print more books or for research or whatever. I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just telling y'all that I think this is a good idea. That's something that they studying. So let me go ahead and read this right here to you. It says Paleo Hebrew alphabet. The Paleo Hebrew alphabet, Hebrew. I'm going to see if I can read some of the letters through a lot of the studies that I've been doing. Hanathaba, Ha'ai, Barai, Hakwada, Hakwa Dawam. All right. Also, Paleo Hebrew, Proto Hebrew, or Old Hebrew is the writing system found in the Canaanite inscriptions from the region of biblical Israel and Judah. It is considered to be the script used to record the original text of the Hebrew Bible. Due to its similarity to the Samaritan script, which is where these letters come from, Samaritan, but the original Samaritan was the Phoenician Hebrew letters, but to the Samaritan script as the Talmud stated. So this right here is a later thing right here, these letters right here. But the old Samaritan script used Phoenician Hebrew. Okay, so let me go ahead and read. I'm finna show you the point what I'm getting to record the original text of the Hebrew Bible. Due to the similarities to the Samaritan script, as the Talmud stated, that the Hebrew ancient script was still used by the Samaritans. The Talmud described it as Lai Bon Na'ah script. Hebrew, and it says right here, Laya Bawa Na'ah. Translated by some as Lebanon. Script. Use of the term Paleo Hebrew, which means ancient Hebrew, alphabet, is due to the 1954 suggestion by Solomon Birnbau. I did a video on him a while back. It was just like a little short video. And I will link it under this video when I'm done with this, Yahweh willing. And also, Pastor Kelly does a lot of teaches on the Phoenician Hebrew, who argues that to apply the term Phoenician to the script of the Hebrews is hardly suitable. So, listen, they applied Canaanite Phoenician, and I'm going to show you that's what that word means. This is the Phoenician Hebrew script. It goes like this here. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, I, ha, ta, ya, taza, la, ma, and so on. The script type Abba, Ja, and when they put the Ja in there, that has something to do with the Lectiones and the Nakud stuff. So Ja was not, uh, Ja is a recent invention, 500 years ago. That's what these certain letters it was added inside of the Abar script. So in Abar, there's no Ja, and there's no U. U is where they get the two W's. They put the two W's together and they say that make the U sound. Don't make sense to me. W, double U make a U. So two Y's make a U, I reckon. Okay, time period 1000 BCE. So this right here, time period was 1000 years before Messiah. 135 CE after Messiah. I reckon that's what that means, or that means before Messiah. So BCE is before Messiah. So CE has to be before Messiah. Okay, direction, right to left. So in English they write from left to right. So they write it backwards. So all of our history and everything about us has been backwards. So our language, when we write this way because we is the people they called Canaanites, and they called our language Canaanite. They said that's an African language. So if they say we are Africans, okay then. But our homeland is in Northeast Africa, and it was called Canaan by somebody, and I'm finna show you. So we're right here, biblical Hebrew. So right here, our language was biblical Hebrew. And it says parent systems, Masrium hieroglyphs, Egyptian hieroglyphs. So we have some Egyptian with our stuff because our ancestor was in Masrium. Proto-Semitic script. All right. Phoenician alphabet. Canaan and us spoke with the same letters. Canaan was our servants. All right. They spoke the language of those who they worked for. So we got here child system, Samaritan alphabet, Samaritan Aram. So I think that Samaritan comes from one of our ancestors named Aram, or one of our kinsmen named Aram. So before I go into Olaudah Equiano's story, I want to show you this right here. Aram alphabet. See, Greek alphabet, Aramaic. We go here. ISO. All right. So Phoenician, they telling you the page. Unicode. So here it is. The first Paleo-Hebrew inscription identified in modern time was the Shebna inscription, found in 1870 during slavery. Mashpaka. They found it like they found America. Think about that. The first ancient Hebrew, who is the ancient people? The first ancient Hebrew inscription identified in modern time was the Shebna inscription, found in 1870. They found it in 1870, but it was there before they got there. It then referred to as two large ancient, who is the ancient people, who they say is the first man on earth, who they say got the Eve gene. Two large ancient Abar, ancient Hebrew inscription, and Phoenician letters. Fewer than 2,000 inscriptions are known today. Fewer than 2,000 inscriptions are known today, of which the vast majority comprise just a single letter or word. So who was destroying the artifacts? Uh, President P, he opened up the vault and he said a lot of the artifacts and stuff was destroyed. All right. So there was there was something going on where people was destroying artifacts. So let's keep on reading. The earliest known example of Paleo Hebrew writing date to the 10th century before Messiah. All right. Before Amanawal, before Messiah. Like the Phoenician, I don't know what that means, stand for, but when I say Amanawal, that's Alahayim with us, before Messiah. So when you see this, that'll show you BCE. Like the Phoenician alphabet, it is slight regional. Like the Phoenician, like the Canaanite alphabet, with Masha and Abraham wrote in, it is slight regional variant and immediate continuation of Proto-Canaanite script. And I want to tell you something. Abraham married Hagar. Hagar was his Asha. Hagar was a woman of Ham. I saw you, elder. I didn't catch it. Hagar was a daughter of Ham, of the African, okay? And she married Abraham. Her father is Masrayam. She married Abraham. They had children. Okay, elder. So she married Abraham. They had children. You see that? Thank you, elder. Yeah, that you right. That'll be more accurate. Before Hamashiach. So Abraham married Hagar, a Hamitic woman. You know the Kemetic people? Hagar, she got married to Abraham. She became his Asha. He became his Ayash. And she had that baby with Abraham as his what they call that? The woman that bear for a woman that was bearing back in those days. So there was a law back then where if you are barren, your maid servant can go in the tent and your husband can lay with her and have a baby. Now modern days they call that something else. They call it sperm donor and all that. So anyway, Phoenician Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, which means ancient Abar script. So it's older than what we see now today, the letters and everything, the rendition or whatever they call Hebrew today. It's older than all of them. It's older than Abraham is older than his children. And they say right here, the Paleo Hebrew script is in Abjad consonantal letters, exactly as the other Canaanite scripts from the period. So they keep calling them Canaanites. So who in America did they say was Canaanites? Cursed with the curse of Ham. Think about that. Just think about that. By the 5th century BCE, they said they went over there and got Canaan from over there. Combined. Elder, where you at with that? Elder Berean scholar. I wish I could share the link and you could come up here. Maybe we'll do that one day on StreamYard. I like this one because the microphone sound better to me. On here, you can put a limiter on there where it won't hurt people's ears as much. Because sometimes my voice sprout out and I get loud. But it say right here, the Jewish square script. See, the Jewish square script. So they put their brand on this square script. So this is something of they working, right? The square script, the Jewish alphabet has been mostly replaced. Watch this. By the 5th century BCE, before Messiah, among Yiqwaba, the alphabet had been mostly replaced by the Aramaic alphabet. Now listen, if these people right here is the same people that was enslaved and that they was the one being called Canaan, then that means that they saying that you did not exist, during the time when you was in Kemet in slavery. On the catacombs in Africa, it shows our people over there as the slave. All right, Europeans was not down there being no slaves in our Mosrim. The Africans is not guilty of putting European people in slavery in this time period right here. All right, although everybody has faced a form of captivity, they have not faced a form of captivity what we call chattel slavery today, when you're treated like an animal. All right, they have been restored and all these things. But let's go. Let's keep on reading the Jewish square script variant now. So they put their brand on it, like they put their brand on Kunta Kinte. The Jewish square script variant, now known simply as Hebrew alphabet, so Jewish square script, evolved directly out of the Aramaic. So it came out of the language of Aram. All right, of Aram. So right here, out of the language of Yasharal, Aram came from our language, Phoenician Abar, Canaanite Hebrew. It says variant now known simply as the Hebrew alphabet evolved directly out of Aramic scripts by about the 3rd century BCE. Let me stop for a minute to read some of the comments. Shalom, Sister Naomi. It's good to see you. Elder, I'm finna make you a moderator too. I told my wife, I talked to her about this. So sisters, I can add y'all now. All right. ASAP. Shalom, Ak. It's good to see you, brother. So I hope I got your name right. I'm just gonna say inspiration. I don't want to mess up your name. Ak. Shalom, Moshe ben Yahuda Yisrael. That's my brother right there. And I love my brother. All right. The correct spelling is concubine. Okay, thank you, Elder. That's the word I was looking for. Because that's what Hagar was. She was a concubine. And so I read to y'all about that right there. This is the alphabet, and you could go and download it. But much rather that you go and purchase the book to assist them in what they're trying to do. All right. So we see the importance. All right. So here, this is the interesting narrative of the life of Olaudah Equiano, written by himself. Olaudah Equiano wrote this by himself. All right. So let's say somebody claim that they is Olaudah Equiano, right? And they say they wrote this because they done put Olaudah Equiano in slavery. If Europe wasn't allowing Olaudah Equiano to do this right here, his book would be just like all of the rest of the inventions and the things of our people. It'll be done being taken away. And one of our family members, they put a video up. Let me look it up real quick. One of our family members, they put a video up, and I probably share a little bit of it, if you're willing, about how people take your inventions back in the day, how they would take it with their patent machine. Mashpaka, a sister Mary Jones, she commented on that today on the comment I made under a post 11 months ago. And let me add this inside of my history so I can share a little bit of this with you, family. And this brother that's sharing this, he used to work for the Secret Services, Mashpaka. And the name of his page is called Runaway Slave. I've been following this brother for a long time. He is a practicing Muslim, family. This brother is a practicing Muslim, which a lot of our people is doing today. They practice a whole lot of religions. And he said he don't have no issues. He said he grew up, he knew about the Bible and knew about Messiah, but we know it's not really about religion anyway. It's about a family. Yahushua came and died for a family. He didn't come and die for no religion, for no religious organization sect. All right. So let me go ahead and click on this right here for the family so that they can hear what the brother was saying on here about this situation. All right. Here we go. I'm not gonna show it, but I'm finna just let y'all hear what the brother has to say. Mashpaka. And thank y'all for coming in the chat, family. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna put this screen up here and then I'm finna go back and finish reading Elder Olaudah Equiano stuff, if y'all willing, but I want to play this first. All right, here we go.
Okay, so what I had to do for this channel is create an email list. The reason why is because due to the nature of the content of this channel, I don't know when the content is going to just mysteriously disappear or this channel will be shut down. The email list is just for the followers or the subs so that you know where these things are just in case this mysteriously happens. So just go down to the link in the description of the video, click join email list, put your email address in there, and boom, you're good to go. That means that I can also send you other information that I cannot post here on YouTube, and you'll also know where the channel is and where the content is in the event that it does disappear. Okay, let's cook. Okay, so here's some information about two black sisters in America that many of us have never even heard of. And these sisters, they have two inventions. And one of their inventions had a major impact on national security, okay? And these sisters are Ann Minter and Betty Brown. And yes, they are biological sisters. Now, what Ann Minter and Betty Brown did, it was they invented something called a vehicle and cargo security inspection system. And this system that they made was created to detect explosives, contraband, weapons, chemicals, bodies, whatever. And they had this thing patented back in the year 2005 under patent number 6972693.
Okay, so hopefully y'all heard that come clear to y'all through the airwaves. So that's evidence that our inventions and stuff it can be taken from us, you know. So just like our language and everything else has been appropriated, a lot of our inventions and stuff have been taken from us. And this is one of our people right here, Olaudah Equiano, from the tribe of Yaoundé. All right, Yaoundé is a capital in what is now called West Africa, family. Let me transition back over to the book. All right. The whole purpose of the patent, this is Brother Moshe being Yehudi Israel. He say the whole purpose of the patent machine was to steal our people's ideals. Correct. And even before they got that patent machine, they went on the spree of knocking off noses off of them Masrium over there, and then claiming to be somebody else. And you know, and then they I don't know exactly when they started calling themselves Jewish. I'm not really clear on that. I think I had the dates before, but I don't want to be speak presumptuously and just say name out something that but I want to go and check the sources again. But and I'm locked out of there. Hold on, let me try to log in, family. When I tried to come in and knock me out, hold on. EDY. Yeah. Yeah, this kind of slowing me down. I hope that y'all still hear me. And if they didn't lock me out of my email, or close me out. But all I'm doing is just going over this history so that we can understand and have an appreciation and know what to do while we in the lands of our captivity. All right. Know that we over here because of a situation. And how do we maintain while we over here in the lands of our captivity, family? All right. Hopefully I wasn't locked out of my live. All right. Let's see here. Of a situation. And how do we maintain while we over here in the lands of our captivity, family? Okay, I'm still here. All right, Mashbaka. So let me go ahead and start back reading out of the book. I tried to comment and it didn't go through. So okay, Sister Naomi, thank you for letting me know. I want to say again, thank y'all for coming out again. Mashbaka. Thank y'all for coming out again. All right, let me go ahead and start back reading. All right. So this story of Olaudah Equiano was written by he himself. All right, and it's edited with the instructions so y'all could go, and I'm gonna leave the link to this as well if y'all are willing, or you can look it up on Wikipedia, Mashbaka, or you could go and purchase the book, which would be more beneficial to either his kindred or whatever. So you might want to look into that to see what they looking to do with the money, where's the money going or whatever. You know, and you not being nosy, you want to know what's going on. Like, you know, one of our ancestors wrote this book, and we need to, you know, really start being more attentive and looking into some of this stuff to figure out where's this money going, like we should have been doing back then with church funds and stuff. But a lot of us, we didn't know better. We was just doing what we thought was right. All right. So let's go down here. The interesting narrative, even if it'd just be something that they could put inside of schools where we could start reading. All right. Updating our books so we could get our history and stuff together for the children, even if you got to teach them at home. Brother Phil Scott on the Africa Diaspora News Channel say that it'd be better for us if we teach our children at home, homeschool our children. You know, they got to take their history courses or whatever. Add Elder Olaudah Equiano in there, Gustavus Vasa. And right here, he signed his signature right here on there. So this is his handwriting. He knew how to write. He wasn't no monkey swinging for no tree. Mashbaka. Right here, the interesting narrative of the life. And see, artists, this is what I learned when I was in art class. We sign our name on the bottom of art. So what I used to do in art, I would sign my name on there, and it was a copyright, and it was also showing that my signature was there. So when you look inside of the Bible and you see the Apostle Shawal telling the people that his people forging his name on books, our people knew how to write back then. It was writing and what the world called now today Canaanite. All right, a dead language. Why is it dead now? In the 1600s, your language went dead, Mashbaka? Yeah, it went dead in the 1600 because of what they did to you when you got over here in these plantations. All right? Gustavus Vasa. Listen, Mashpaka, if it went dead in the 1600 and you was losing your language in the 1600, and if your language went dead and they say it's a dead language now, it's extinct like the dodo bird, Mashpaka, then that's showing you something. Then if it wasn't your language, then somebody should be over there in Africa not knowing what nobody talking about, still speaking in Phoenician Hebrew and be white peoples. But it's not like that. That man went down there in the 1500s. I posted up his name on my community tab. There was a guy went down there to down there to Africa, down there in Africa. And he was translating this our language. He was trying to learn how to write it. Mashpaka, I'm looking for the man's name, but I'm finna keep on reading, and I'm gonna look for his name. By the time I get out this broadcast, Yahweh willing, I'll be done found it. But I posted it a long time ago, so it's way deep down there in there. All right. So that's Equiano. This is an authentic book. He wrote it. All right. Whether if he was perfect or not, Elder Olaudah Equiano wrote this book. It's a historic document. Just like if somebody take a lock of your hair, it belonged to you. And if you cut off the lock of your hair and you gave it to somebody, you said, put this inside of this crayon box or whatever box you got to let your children know that this is how our hair was, because we see what they're doing now. They're trying to change up everything. And now everybody going to be thinking that Negroes ain't Negroes and that they never existed. So take this lock of hair, put it inside of here, take this dread, take this lock, put it inside of this bucket and store it up. And I believe that's what a lot of our ancestors was trying to do. And when we read about one of the elders that was taken over here, there was a practicing Muslim inside of his speech. And I told y'all to go and check him out, to check out the book he wrote. They let him write freely because they didn't know how to read what he was writing. So let's go down here. And it says to take particular pains to form my mind. I was trained up from my earliest. This is page 47. I started too early. Let me go. This page is kind of faded, but I'm going to try to read it. This is chapter 2. The interesting narrative of Olaudah Equiano. All is fire and every noble sentiment, but above all, what advantage do not refined people possess over those who are rude and uncultivated? Let the published and the haughty European recollect, the proud European recollect, that his ancestors were once like the Africans, uncivilized, and even barbarians, Berbers. Did nature make them inferior to their sons? And should they too have been made slaves? Every rational mind answers, no. Let us reflect. Let such reflections as these melt the pride of their superiority into sympathy for the wants and miseries of their sable brethren. Compel them to acknowledge, this is why he wrote the book, to acknowledge that understanding is not confined to feature of color. So when they say it wasn't about color, here go a witness, an eyewitness that was there when they wasn't there. They just not born getting their foots wet. This is a witness, and my grandmother is a witness, and your grandparents is a witness that it was based on color. If when they look round the world, they feel isolation, let it be I can't hardly see it. Let it be tempered with the benevolence to others and gratitude to So he wrote it in English so they can understand, to God, who had made, because Olaudah Equiano still knew how to speak his language, family, made of one blood, all nations. I don't know if he spoke one of the Yiqwaba languages over there or the Yoruba, but he still spoke a native African language, Mashbakar. So when he wrote that right there, he didn't write Mawu. He wrote God so they can understand. Who had made of one blood all nations of men from Adam for to dwell on all the face of the earth, on all the face of the earth, and whose wisdom is not our wisdom, neither our ways his ways. So how did this man just not getting off the ship know about Hamashiach? How did he know about Allahayim? Mashbakah. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Inspiration said Europeans said the same thing about natives. They were uncivilized savages. Yep. And that word savages is Berbers. So when they calling some of your brothers in Africa Berbers. They calling them the Berber tribe. Family. Okay? Elder Berean scholars say Moshe ben Yehudi Yisrael Shalom. May Yah smile upon you and your family. Amen. I agree with that prayer. Elder. So right here it says chapter 2. The author's birth. Hold on, let me see. I don't know what that word is. I think it's paralege. His being kidnapped with his sister. Their separation, surprise at meeting again, are finally separated. Account of the different places and incidents the author met with would heal his arrival up on the coast. The sight of a slave ship. So when they say slave ships ain't never exist, yes, some of our people was over here. Some of our people migrated over here. But them ships existed. They really did exist. The effect the sight of a slave ship had on him. He sails for the West Indies. Horrors of a slave ship. Or maybe some of the African tribes came. I don't know. But here's the strange thing. Why was they slave masters over here? Why was there laws written to protect them over here, but there wasn't no law written to protect you in them days right there? When they was when they came over here, I read to y'all the other day that they had wrote laws to stop the slavery of the people that was already over here, the dark-skinned natives that was already over here, because they couldn't handle the diseases that they brought over here. And because they was dying out, so they got on. That's the reason why they went over there and got them. So I don't know if their immune system is not like ours or whatnot, but I still do consider them as a part of Ophir, because they came on ships from Ophir to over here, and Europeans tried to enslave them, but it didn't work out well for them. So your body was equipped to go through these curses, and your body is equipped to go through the blessing. It just depends on whatever we want to do. If we don't want to keep that law written down in the Bible that was read to you at the beginning of this broadcast, arrives at Barbados with the cargo, is sold and dispersed. Even you being able to endure should show you a miracle in you. That's a sign on you, Mosh, because don't nobody survive the stuff that we go through with unless Yahweh allowed your body to be able to take the brutal destruction and pain and stuff and still get up early in the morning and work so hard until your bones breaking out of your skin? That's right, brother. The so-called modern natives are Mongolian. You see, when they went up there to Alaska, the Alaskans couldn't take the diseases. They was dying off. I don't know if y'all seen the documentary of the Alaskans. They couldn't take the diseases, you know. And Harriet Tubman went up there. I think didn't Harriet Tubman go up there and flee up there to Alaska? How come Harriet Tubman didn't die of disease? See, our body were able to handle it because we got to go through these curses, Amashbaka. Either we gonna go through the curses or we gonna go through the blessing. We as a sign, Mashbaka. I hope the reader will not think I have trespassed on his patience in introducing myself to him with some account of the manner and customs of my country. See, Olaudah Equiano knew where he came from. He knew where he was. But see, when they took him, he was a little boy. All right, they took him when he was a little boy. So his mama, his daddy could not pass down the history. And when you go down there to Africa, the Igbos will tell you, even now today, if you talk to an Igbo brother right now, they'll tell you that they came down there from the north. They came down there from Northeast Africa. They will tell you they self, Mashbaka. But since they took the little baby away from his mama, they took his little sister and they took him when they was little children. And they didn't really keep records of their ages and stuff. And if you can go and look up, listen to some of the old slave eyewitnesses tell you that they didn't even know how old they was because their age wasn't even important. You know, it was just like another day. You had certain holidays where they would let you get off, you know, like the moss and, you know, to hunt the egg and do stuff like that, let you off. And that's why I believe Negroes is in love with these holidays. You know, bread down to you. Do we know what Friday was? You know, when they say the Friday sale, that's when somebody finna get sold. They give you a rebate price on slaves. It's gonna be sold for cheap. Black Friday, yeah. Negro Friday. All right. Negro Friday was a time when slave master was happy. And the people was crying, they was mourning. Because they know somebody was gonna be sold. You know, property was gonna be sold on Black Friday, Mashbaka. When Black Friday came around, the bid master was bidding for the 4, bidding for the 2, bidding for the 1. Mashbaka, bidding a penny, sold. Let me see one of y'all last name if y'all got it down in here. Okay, I thank y'all family. Y'all got y'all name. That's right. But sold to the Jones family. Sold to the Matthews family. Sold to the man with the big hat. Sold to the Kennedy. So you see what I'm saying? That's what they was doing on Black Friday. So we got to take our mind back to the time so we can understand the book. And made an impression on my mind which I almost got done reading the whole book, so I'm not going to go past where I read. But I'm just going to briefly tell you what I read, and you could go and check out the book. And it say kidnapper, they kidnapped them. Look right here. Look out. This is on page 47, chapter 2. He said, in some of the neighboring promises to play, the comely sum of use to get up a tree to look out for an assailant or a kidnapper. Now, there was tribes that would kidnap you for the slave master. We had rival tribes that was looking for us. We already read the other day that Portugal, the king of Portugal, sent out an edict. He said he wanted those Jews that fled out of the land because they owed taxes to them, because they were supposed to be paying. Because you know what, Elder Pastor Kelly and Brother Dante forcing, was showing how that a lot of our people, we didn't live by the money system like them. So when we sold all our goods and stuff for money, and now you depending on them for everything you need. So you sell all your cattle, you sold uh everything you had, or you sold your land or whatever, and then you're depending totally on them to get the money. And now you in debt. Now you getting loans and stuff, and now you got to pay a tax so that you can stay there in the land, because they done put you out of your land due to the war of 70 AD. So we had to have somewhere to go. So we went to Portugal and Spain. And later on, they kicked us out of Portugal and Spain. A lot of us, we went down there to Africa. We went down there to Africa because that's Africa. You know, Northeast Africa. And then you got South Africa. You got neighboring. That's your neighbor. So all you had to do is knock on the door and come in. But you had rival tribes, as was recorded in Psalms chapter 83. I'll read to you that if Yahweh willing. But it say right here, and commonly some of us used to get up a tree to look out for an assailant. So they wasn't in no tree just swinging, eating no banana. They went up in the tree just like when people, just like when if a soldier can't see, he get up in the tree and look with his binoculars like they did. So they wasn't no monkey, was they? They wasn't no hairless ape, was they? They climbed up in the tree with their binoculars looking to hunt. So you ever seen a hunting film? You ever been hunting before? They have things up in the tree where you can look over to see where the deer come. And then they put the body stuff on them so the deer can't smell them or whatnot. So that is still a common practice to climb up on the tree. You could see farther, especially when you got a scope. But if you know about the land and how to narrate the land, they would climb up on trees for an assailant or a kidnapper that might come upon us. So they was always on watch because it was people over there kidnapping people. And Mashpaka, this book right here was written in the 1800s, Mashpaka. So slavery was still going on. Slavery was still going on. Now I'm going to read to you a little bit of what Wikipedia had to say about this situation, Mashpaka. All right, so let's go here to Wikipedia, and it say, for an exoplanet name in his honor, I think it'll say name in his honor, CH right there, for the Swedish king, C. Gustavian Vasa, Olaudah Equiano. All right. It says au, u, and mouth. So that came from the umlaut. They came from the umlaut, the Nikud system. All right. So the umlaut and all that, they came from the Nikud system. All right. From Ashkenaz, one of the sons of Noah, was a writer and abolitionist. According to his memoir, he was from the village of Asika, and it's not like that now. So a lot of our people that may, if they could have kept hold to that, you went over there and you said, I'm looking for the village of Asika. And they said, I know it's not named that. There's no place named that over here in modern southern Nigeria. So they just call it southern Nigeria now. All right. Nigeria, officially the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a country in West Africa. It is situated between the Sahel to the north and the Gulf of Guinea to south in the 8th Atlantic. That means Kushite Ocean. And you can find the Kushite Ocean in the Bible. Kushite Ocean is in the Bible, Mashpaka. And it's a prophecy about being scattered beyond the Cushite ocean. Remember when it said Kawash, Yum, Yum Kawash? That's a Cushite ocean. It covers an area of 923,796 square kilometer. Okay, so they even got it mapped all out. They done been all across there. So Mashbaka, this is what this one of our brothers was taken from. And look at how you look. Look at his hair. It is nappy hair. Mashbaka. So they wasn't bringing over the people that said that they are Yahudim over here into slavery. They was bringing over the people that is called bywords into slavery. Mashbaka. Right here. The 8th Atlantic slave trade was a war, Mashbaka. Because if it would have happened to one of them, then they would have said it is a war or a sex trafficking. But the 8th Atlantic slave trade war, transatlantic slave trade war, the Ethiopian slave trade war involved the transportation by slave traders of enslaved Ophir Africans people, mainly into the Americas. They took them from the west coast of Ophir, mainly in the Americas, to the outfitted European slave ships of the slave trade regularly used the triangular trade route in the Middle Passage. This is our Middle Passage, Mashbaka. And they're telling you about his book. Look at when he was born. Look at when his book was published. I made an error. His book was published in 1789. The publisher published this book in 1789. It is the autobiography of Olaudah Equiano, an Ophir, an African from what is now Nigeria. From what is now Nigeria, who was enslaved in childhood. He was not the only one enslaved, but he was enslaved from childhood. That's what they would do to you. That is evidence right there of their nature. They took the children, was enslaved from childhood, and eventually earned his freedom and became an abolitionist. All right? A freeman. What is a freeman? Remember when we read about the freeman with the and we probably need to go back over that again, the Portuguese, when they was talking about the freeman and King John II and his edict that he had wrote. A freeman or freed woman is formerly enslaved person who has been released from slavery, usually by legal means. Historically, slaves were freed by manumission, emancipation, or self-purchase. A fugitive slave is a person who escaped enslavement by fleeing. All right? A fugitive, what would they call you when you're running away from the police? A fugitive slave is a person who escaped enslavement by fleeing. Even if you're not guilty, if you run away from the police, they say you are a fugitive. You are running away. All right? By fleeing. So there's fugitive laws still on the book. Remember that brother that was running and he got beat so bad until he can't walk no more? So well that 9 editions were published during his life. So 9 editions were published during his life. So this book was published while he was born. Look at this right here. The Slave Trade Act of 1807, officially an act for the abolition of the slave trade, was an act of the Parliament of the United States of the United Kingdom. Prohibition. The slave trade in the British Empire, back then the United States was not called the United States of America, it was called the United Colonies. Trade in British Empire, although it did not abolish the practice of slavery, it encouraged Britain action to press other. All right. Let's see. Sons of Africa. The Sons of Africa were a late 18th century group in Britain that campaigned to end African chattel slavery. The corresponding society, and let me get this word right here. African. And let's look that up real quick. African. Matter of fact, Ophir. Who is Ophir? Okay, Ophir. And you find this in your Bible too, Mashpaka. Ophir is a Shemite. So Africa was named after the Shemitic people. So anybody that's a African is a Ophir that they named Ophir. They named it Ophir. But all the countries had their own names. Just like all of us have our own names. Our countries had our own names. And our names represented our legacy and our claim to our birthright as a people. So when anybody think that it's not important of your name, then you would give away your pay stubs and all of your stuff and let people use your name, and you could trade theirs and use, okay? But we ain't gonna do that. We know. But Ophir, right here, it says O-U, O, and code. Ophir, Africa. In modern Hebrew, what they call it. We just read about their Hebrew, what they doing, what they say is Hebrew. You see this right here? That comes from the Nikud. And these right here, they come from Nikud. And that's what changes the sound of these letters. Without these right here, how to say this, like a brother had taught me a while back, how to say this without the Nikud, it's like this. Nothing. Because without the Nikud, these have no sounds. Without the Nikud, these letters have no sounds. So it's nothing. It's like nothing. So if we're going to pronounce it in the Phoenician Hebrew way, we have to remove the Nikud. We're going to have to remove that system that's practiced in order to change the sound of the letters by adding an extra letter to give you an emphasization, like when they use the yod, when they say yod, to change the letter to something else. They're trying to get you to say Eid, like when they say Dawid, when they add an extra yud in there to give you to let you know, like with this here Nikud, to change it. So let's see. Sha, La, Wam. Without the Nikud, Sha, La, Wam. But with the Nikud, is Sha, La. With this at the top, it make it O, Shalom. So with the Nikud that they put, these dots and tittles that they put on these letters, it changes the origin. It puts their barcode on it. it puts their branding iron on it. So when you see this and this and this what they brand this on. So it's Shalom, and with the Nikud system, Shalom. Shalom. All right. It turns the wa into a o. So the Tiberian, look at this. Do y'all remember seeing these letters before? Look at all these right here, these dots and symbols and stuff. The Tiberian vocalization, Tiberian points, or Tiberian Nikud is a system of Dracrylics Nikud devised by the Masoretes of Tiberia. Y'all want to know who the Masoretes is of Tiberia? Let's see a picture of the Masoretes. Let me find that one of them guys here. Let me go back. Let me see if I can find the Masoretes. Matter of fact, but y'all, you should know who the Masoretes is. One of them guys, you know them guys. That's the Masoretes. The Jewish, they're the Masoretes. They changed it. All right, in modern Tel Aviv, see right there? Aviv, they used the Nikud to make the Vav. Like when they say Yod, He, Vad, Hey. So it lets you know that the Wa can change to a Va with the Nikud. So the Wa can change to a Va with the Nikud. It can change to a O with the Nikud. So then why don't people just say Yaowa? Why don't they say Ya'iyah? Because when you say Yahuwah, you say Yahuwah. The ha can change to he. So you can say Yahya. I mean, when do you know not to use the eh? When do you know not to use the o? When do you know not to use all this other stuff? When you read in school and you say your ABCs, you say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. Q, R, X, T, U, Z, W, X, and Y, and Z. Now I know my ABC. It's the most populous city in Gush. How did they get this right here, Mashpaka? How do you get the Yahuwah? Ush. That comes from the Nikud system. All right? The vowel letter system. So even in English, we still following the Nikud system. Gush. But it's Gawash, right? The Israeli, that means just like when you say you as a citizen of Rome, Roman citizen, Israeli, Mediterranean coastline, and with a population of, I'm not going to read it. But see, that's what I want to share with you today, Mashpaka. And I'm going to go back to this here. Hopefully, I'm finna look into this. I had the book before, but y'all could go and look up the stuff. Paleo Leviticus. There's ancient Levites too. There's ancient and there's modern time people that say they Levites. There's ancient Yehabadah and there's modern people say they Judean. All right. The Samaria is the capital of Yasharal, of the northern tribe. Yerushalayim is the capital of Yehabadah, of the southern tribe, So family, we need to be careful with a lot of these doctrines, and let's make sure that we following the right thing. Let's get back to our stuff, our culture. For some, it may be an unimportant thing. Okay, sister. For some, it may be an unimportant thing. But for anybody that want to return back to what was stolen from you, and if you want to understand the things that your ancestors understood, then you have to study what they studied. And if you don't think that it's important, if where you came from is not important to you, okay, Elder, you could go. I'll be right here, Yahweh willing. The live will be put back up, Yahweh willing, for you, Elder. Thank you for coming, Elder Berean Scholar. Hopefully, we'll do that live one day. Amen. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to play my song, and I'm finna get up out of here, family. But I hope that y'all was blessed by this. The links to the music is in the description in the description below. Mashpaka. All you got to do is click on the description below, and you'll see all of the music that has been recently released. And I'm working on most stuff, family, and y'all can go and check it out whenever y'all get the time. But before I go, I just want to say shalom and thank you to all of the Mashpaka again for coming and showing love to me. All right, this song right here I wrote for our sisters and our brothers that's going through sexual assault, and they need somebody to encourage them. And I'm going to be doing more songs on this right here. And I want my sisters to continue to reach out. My wife talked to us last night. Moshe, she was looking for you last night. But we're going to go ahead and press play on here. And then after the song is over, Yahweh willing, I'm going to play the song and then we'll end the live, Mashpaka. Shalom.
Do not let them raise your rate.
All right, here we go. I had to skip the commercial.
No time shoe here. No time dancing here. No shucking jive here. There's plenty sisters missing and plenty being abused. But when you look on TV, it don't be in the news. So what we gonna do is we gon' stand by and keep a gender war while watching people die. It's pretty easy to pretend that we figured out, but we can never really push a little baby out. Our sisters been here, my brother, through thick and thin, through the wickedness, yeah, even the same sin. There's no pain on this earth can compare to the way that it feels when the mother giving birth to baby. People trying to fake it but can never duplicate it. It's a whole lot of haters on this earth, fake it, they can take another reason. I don't understand how a man can rape a lady and he spend 9 months as a baby in his mama belly. I'm sorry for the pain and the suffering that you've been through. I wish I could do more for the right in this. Don't you cry. You got a brother here. You got a hug here. You got a brother here, sister. You got a hug here. Say don't you give up. Say don't you give up. You got a brother here. You got a brother here. You got a brother here. Possessed and they unclean, acting in their character. What you see is what you getting at the mass hysteria. But who the people? We the people. We belong to Allah. I ain't supposed to worship Hamashiach, but we calling on that idol. Says your red boy, she'll leading many to the fire, so that whip will crack a latch up to the shadow. Look, man, I'm sick and tired of waiting, searching, looking for somebody, girl. Danger everywhere. Every time we turn another murder, stuck up in his hellhole, waiting on that chain to come. Gotta do our time, but I wanna be free now. It ain't safe, no place on the earth, we get it beat down on the folk corner. Many ways, let's pray. This track here ready for the people that be praying for the sheep, people standing for the weak, seeking to lift the weak, who been beat by this wicked system. Although the people of the land of y'all should roll, lay captive on the folk corner, soon to be turn, be encouraged. You got a brother here. You got a hug here. You got a brother here, sister. You got a hug here. Say, don't you give up. Say, don't you give up. You got a brother here. You got a brother here. You got a brother here.